Do you want to see my everyday makeup routine with this look, easy and simple? Thank you for watching. Hi, my name is Dajana, and 4 years ago I was really bad at makeup, but within those years I have learned a lot, and if I could with no talent for drawing and none of those things, you can do it too. Today it's gonna be my everyday simple makeup routine, and the thing that you have to know about my skin is that I have oily skin type. And what I did, I already double cleansed my face, and that's what you have to do too, and put a moisturizer and SPF and an eye cream. And then when I'm prepared like that, I can start with the foundation. I'm gonna go with the Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear foundation. I actually use 2 different colors because my skin color changes pretty often. So I'm actually using pretty dark one, 290, and 185, and I mix them together. I use, first shake it, like about half of the pump from each of them, because right now that creates my perfect shade, I feel like. But whenever I'm a little darker, or my body is a little darker, I add more of the darker one, or if I'm brighter, then I use a bit more of the brighter one. And I use that range because like 290, that's like the deepest that I ever was when it comes to the color. Okay, so when I mixed it on the back of my hand, I use the brush, face brush from Real Techniques. You can apply it with your fingers, or you could apply it with this beauty blender, but recently I just like to apply it with a brush all over my face. So like I said, recently I like to apply my foundation with the brush. Before I really like the sponge, the beauty blender, but it just changes. So you can choose the way that just like the easiest or the most comfortable for you. Don't forget about your ears. You don't want your face to have one color and then your ears to be red or just basically different color. Do it on your ears as well. And neck, very important. Go down to your neck, because we want even color. We don't want anything to end just on your jawline. You just want it to look like the rest of your body, not someone else's body. So I'm not applying too much because I still want my skin to be a bit visible. I just wanted to keep it natural and soft. If you apply too much foundation, at the end of the day, it's not gonna look nice. Okay, so if I have little spots, as always, then I use just a little bit more of the foundation on those spots. Don't use the concealer, because then this will just become even brighter spot and will drag even more attention. So you want to cover it up. You don't want to bring more attention to your imperfections. Okay, once you're happy with the blend, move on to the concealer again. Not too much. I'm using the concealer from Fenty Beauty again. My concealer is in the color 200 because that will be like my skin color in when it comes to Fenty. Most of the times. Tap it in with my finger around my eyes. Again, you don't want too much because it's just gonna crease around especially around your eyes. So just not too much, and then I go with the brush, with the one that I use the foundation, and blend the edges. I also apply the concealer on my eyelids to make sure that it also match the color of my face and that it looks like the part of my body again. And blending, blending, blending. Okay, so that's just the first video of my daily makeup routine, but I'm gonna do a series where I explain more in depth about foundation, bronzer, like all the steps in makeup, so look out for that. I'm moving on to the setting powder because we have the foundation and we have the concealer, so we want to set it in place. I use the powder from Mercier, the translucent powder. I'm using a fluffy brush, soft brush for the powder. I dip my brush in it, and then I'm gonna tapping motions onto your skin, onto your face. Don't drag it because you're just gonna move your foundation, and you don't want to do it. You just want to set it in place. So that's why you tap it into your face, everywhere where you applied the foundation, so also that it doesn't transfer onto your clothes or somebody else. And it's gonna just set it into place. Of course, set under eyes, and very important, set your eyelids. Make sure there is no creasing, and then you set your eyelids. That's gonna prevent from creasing any eyeshadows or anything that you will put on your eyes. Trust me. Once our base is done, I'm moving on to the bronzer. Again, I'm using Fenty. I really love Fenty. Like, they have really easy to use products and nice, good quality products. So I'm using the bronzer from Fenty Beauty. Like I said, that's their powder version. I will be applying it with that brush that is a little cut here. So then it's gonna kiss my cheeks perfectly. Tapping my brush into the bronzer, and then I'm starting here, going upwards. Boom, boom, boom. So always blend it upwards when it comes to your bronzer, so that you are giving the impression of lifting your face, right? You want to look younger and youthful and not tired and older. So blend it, blend it, blend it, go up, go a little bit down with it, so kind of creating like a shape of number 3. Blending, 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 and also a bit on your neck to make sure everything is nice and blended. And the same on the other side. Kissing my cheeks with the brush, connecting up here. The bronzer I'm using, it's the shade is called Shady Bees. To make sure everything is nice and blended, you can use the brush that you used for the powder and just go over the bronzer, just to make sure there's no harsh lines anywhere, but everything is melted into the bronzer, into the foundation and your skin. When I'm happy about my bronzer, I move on to the blush most of the times. I'm using the one from Bourjois. It's number 34. And I'm using the same brush as the one for the bronzer. And applying it on top of the bronzer. This one is pretty gentle. It doesn't really give crazy color, so that you're not gonna look crazy. It's just like a pretty natural. And again, I'm kissing my cheeks and side of my face with this brush. Boom, boom, boom. Same on the other side. Next step, brows. I'm starting with this boy, so there's like a little brush for your eyebrows. So I'm starting to brushing it upwards to get out the foundation and the powder, and also discover the natural shape of your brows. Then I'll be using a big, pretty big, as for eyebrows, brush. It's a little cut that side, and I use 2 different actually eyeshadow colors, darker bronze and then lighter one, to get the natural effect. Starting with a darker color and apply it on the lower part of my eyebrows, following the natural shape of it. I have quite some eyebrows, so I'm just following the natural shape and trying to fill it in. And then I'm going with the lighter one on the same brush and just putting it on the upper part of my brow. Again, I'm just following my natural shape and just trying to fill it in. Adding some more if you need to. Also filling in between, in the middle. And for the beginning, I'm not making any sharp or square shapes at the beginning of my brow. I'm just gonna fill it in a little bit with what's left on my brush. We don't want any squares here at the beginning. It should be softer when it comes to the beginning and a little bit darker and stronger at the end of your brow. That's how I like it. And then I'm going with the spoolie again. I'm going with the spoolie again just to blend any sharpness and just make it a bit more natural and blended. And then the same on the other side. The next step are eyes. And very often when we are in rush, when I'm in rush and everybody is in rush, I just use bronzer on my eyelid. So I'm going back to the bronzer brush and just applying it on my eyelid. And that's it. Like, it already creates this nice blended effect. It gives your eyes nice definition and also makes sure that the whole makeup is coherent because you use the same color, of course, like in the other parts of your face. So everything just looks nice. You can go with a bit more of the bronzer to get a little darker effect, but it's not gonna get too dark because this bronzer also is just not really pigmented. Just that you don't hurt yourself with the bronzer and you don't have like crazy lines. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, just with the bronzer and the same brush, just to make sure that we have a little definition to our eyes, but not too much. It's fast and easy. And then I'm going with a smaller brush. It's from Zoeva number 231. I'm gonna go more in depth when it comes to the eyeshadow brushes in the separate videos about eyes and eyeshadows. And with that brush, I'm taking some of the bronzer and applying it on the lower lash to also give it the definition and make the composition looking natural. Same on the other side. Then you can leave it like that, or if you want to give a little bit more definition, I'm gonna go with the darker brown. Anyone would work, but I'm using the one from, again, guess what? Fenty Beauty, their Moroccan Spice palette. And I'm using the dark brown that they have in here with the same brush that I just used on the lower lash. And I'm going on the lower lash in the outer corner just to give my eyes a little bit more definition. And this brush is already blending the eyeshadow. So I'm trying to stick to the outer corner and going a little bit upwards because, again, we want everything to be lifted in makeup. Same on the other side. So it's all about blending. The longer you blend, the nicer effect you will get. Avoid just making harsh lines around your eyes. It looks really nice and natural when everything is blended. And I'm going again with the bronzer brush to blend it out even more. But again, like keeping it upwards, okay? So don't drag it down. Up. I'm going up just a little bit. And then you can skip it. But I like to put the highlighter or any shiny, glittery eyeshadow, bright eyeshadow in the inner corners of my eyes. So the same thing like with the eyebrows. Your eyebrows are softer and lighter at the beginning and a little darker towards the end. The same with the eyes, a little brighter. I'm going with the one from Fenty. That one, you could use like a pencil brush, so something small. I'm using a little bit bigger one from Zoeva again. In the inner corners and touching up a little bit like the upper part and a little bit on the lower. With this brush you can do like a little circle motion. You can also use it on top of my lip to make it look a little bit bigger. So that's done. I don't use the highlighter on my cheeks because I have texture skin and acne prone and all these things, so I don't want to emphasize no texture or anything happening on my face. One of the last steps will be lashes. I'm gonna curl my lashes first. I'm catching the upper part of my lashes and then squeezing really hard, but make sure that you don't squeeze your eyelid. Okay, and hold it for a few seconds and then let it go, and the same on the other side. Don't squeeze your skin. Make sure it's just the hairs. And also do it before you use the mascara. Otherwise, you might break your lashes and you don't want this, I guess. For the mascara, I'm using, guess what? The mascara from Fenty Beauty. The only mascara that they have right now. Most of the times, I used mascara only on the upper lashes. Recently, I don't know, I just preferred the way. Maybe again that we have the lifted effect that we are focusing on. Everything like going up. My natural lashes are pretty long, so if I use anything on my lower lash, it's just very long, maybe a bit too long. And for the last step, I'm using the lip gloss from Fenty again. It has amazing smell. Also, it's very moisturizing for the lips. Stays for quite long. It really gives you this feeling your lips are juicy and moisturized. It smells amazing, like I said. That's it. That's my everyday, quick, easy, simple makeup routine. Very important thing. Don't forget to take all this makeup off. Use a cleansing balm that will help you to break all this makeup down. Use circle motions, work it into your skin for about a minute, and use another cleanser, water-based cleanser, to clean off that cleansing balm, which is oily, and then just make sure that all your pores are makeup free and ready to sleep, and then use a moisturizer at the end of the day and eye cream. I hope that you liked it. Look out for more and let me know in the comments what else you would like to see. Thank you for watching, and until next time.